Tonight's global brief: clear, concise, and ahead of the curve. From markets to climate and tech, we scan reliable sources so you don't have to. Your world, briefing ready.
Hello and welcome to World News. I'm Eve, your anchor in our global newsroom. In the next minutes, we'll bring you verified headlines from geopolitics, business, and technology with clear context and concise takeaways. You'll learn what happened, why it matters, and what to watch next, without noise or speculation. Stay with us as we start at the desk with today's top stories, then zoom in on the trends shaping tomorrow. Let's begin.
A major shakeup is happening in Brazil's highest court, and it was all kicked off by one totally unexpected announcement. We're talking about a single resignation that's about to shift the entire balance of power, and we're going to break down exactly how. So, what's this really all about? Well, it boils down to two things: a justice stepping down years before he had to, and a president who now gets a pretty rare chance to shape the court's future for, well, decades to come. And it all started with this: a very direct and very personal statement from Justice Luis Roberto Barroso, right in the middle of a court session. By saying he has no attachment to power, he basically signaled a huge turning point for Brazil's entire judicial system. Okay, first up, let's just look at the resignation itself, the move that really caught everybody off guard. So the news drops on October 9th. Justice Barroso is stepping down. Now, this is a big deal, because not only was he the court's recent president, but this is a lifetime appointment. You just don't expect someone to walk away from that. And to really get why this sent such shockwaves, you have to look at the timeline. This wasn't some planned retirement party. Barroso could have stayed on the bench until 2033. The fact that he decided to leave 8 years early, that's what turns this from a simple news story into a political bombshell. This whole situation really comes down to two central figures. What they do next is going to determine everything. First, of course, you've got the man himself, Justice Luis Roberto Barroso. He was appointed way back in 2013 by a totally different administration, and he's widely seen as a really influential voice on the court. And his career has been a pretty big deal. He's been on the bench for over a decade. He even served a term as the president of the whole court. And now, his long tenure ends with this sudden departure. And that brings us to our second key player, President Lula da Silva. Because with Barroso stepping down, the power to pick his replacement falls squarely on Lula's shoulders. This is a massive opportunity for him to extend his influence. So how can just one resignation completely change the dynamic of the highest court in the land? Well, it all comes down to the numbers. And that's a fair question, right? It's just one seat. But in a court with a very specific and small number of justices, every single appointment has a huge, huge impact. See, the court is made up of just 11 justices. That's it. When you have such a small group deciding the most important legal questions for the entire country, every single voice is incredibly powerful. Any change can tip the ideological scale. And now for the number that really, really matters for President Lula. 3. This vacancy is his third chance to appoint a new justice during his current term. You know, that's a rare opportunity for any president to have such a quick impact. So think about it this way. With this new nominee, almost 30% of the entire court will be made up of President Lula's hand-picked justices. That creates a really significant voting bloc that could shape the country's legal direction for years, maybe even decades. And that's why this matters so much. A president's appointments aren't just about filling a seat, it's about embedding a judicial philosophy into the country's highest court. These justices can influence everything from economic policy to social rights, and that cements a president's legacy long, long after they've left office. All right, so where do we go from here? What are the immediate next steps in this whole high-stakes process? This is the million-dollar question that's absolutely dominating political circles in Brazil right now. The speculation machine is already in overdrive, but the final call rests with just one person. The power now rests completely with President Lula. He's going to be the one vetting the candidates and nominating a successor, and you can bet the entire country will be watching that confirmation process very, very closely. So, when you step back and look at it, a single personal decision to step down, has become this moment of profound political importance. It's basically handed the current administration a powerful tool to reshape the nation's entire legal landscape for the foreseeable future. And that really leaves us with the biggest question of all. This isn't just about one person replacing another. It's about how this new voice on the court is going to influence the laws, the politics, and the entire direction of Brazil for a generation. And that remains to be seen.
That's your briefing from World News. I'm Eve. Before we go, a quick recap. Key decisions in policy and markets, signals from tech and security, and the human angles behind the numbers. For more depth and verified updates, follow my channel World News Eve and enable notifications. We'll be back soon at this desk with clear facts and practical context you can use. Until then, stay informed and stay kind. Like my video, leave your comments, and help me bring news to everyone. From me to all of us, be happy.